I want to welcome you back to another episode. LanceScurvX here, the Scurv podcast. And as you well know, human nature never ceases to amaze me. I gotta say, I had a wonderful day today, but the energy in the public was so strange. I went through several shopping areas and several markets, and it seemed as though people they were gravitating toward me today. Now, this isn't some kind of narcissistic type of rant, but the worst one was this older Indian man, and he just stared at me in my eyes. I stared at him right back. It wasn't a violent thing, but after it happened a couple of times, and when he did it, it really made me wonder, like, okay, what kind of day is this? Now, also, I didn't get as much sleep as I could have last night. I was excited to get up and get some things done. So I jumped up a little too early and I went to bed a little too late. So I know I'm going to feel it that way. But my energy was still vibrant. It was still where I was discerning a lot around me. I saw so much. One of the weird things is that the amount of people who were bumping into me, and it's like I was invisible and they were walking and couldn't see me and just ran right into me. And I'm trying to avoid them. The other thing is the people who seek attention, like you have these young women in their 20s and 30s, and they're dressed up to the T, dressed up in their Sunday best. And you're walking toward them, but to the side, and they're staring at you to see when you're going to stare at them. It's like, he's not going to look at me. I'm dressed up. It's a lot of low vibrational energy out here. And I think that's what kind of got to me today. It didn't get to me where I'm defeated and beat up, but I was already tired, so my defenses were down. But I don't know, have you ever had days like that when you're very perceptive, but then you see these needy spirits that need attention, or they're fascinated by your energy? And even though I was fatigued physically from the lack of sleep, in which I'm going to get some good sleep tonight, I still had a high energy about me. I was on point a lot. But the stares, the bumping into, that whole thing, I don't know what that was all about. I'm going to research that. I heard a few things about that, but it's almost a good thing. You may think it's not, but if you're vibrating really high, you will get stared at. Even if you're not doing anything out of the ordinary, you're not dressed a funny way, you're not acting, because I try to blend. I'm invisible when I'm in public. You can see me, but I blend. I don't look for eye contact. I don't look for these things. I don't draw people to me. I don't think the world is negative. The whole world is negative, but a lot of people out here are jacked up. My favorite saying, there's secret motivations and hidden agendas. And this is why I am the way I am. Some people say, Lance, you're a weirdo. Well, you know what? I'm content in my weirdo-ness. And I just want to share a few points here about human nature, as always. And I want to speak on it like I always do. And this may not be a 2-hour long, how could I put it, presentation, but it is what it is. Are you being manipulated without knowing it? And these points go along with it, and I kind of expand on it, right? Master yourself before you try to master the world. The biggest battle you'll ever fight isn't against another person. It's against yourself. If your emotions control your decisions, someone else can eventually control you too. Learning to stay calm under pressure, think before reacting, and refuse to let anger make your decisions is one of the greatest forms of strength. When you master yourself first, you become much harder for anyone else to manipulate. And that's what it is all about too out here. It's different than it used to be many decades ago. And I don't expect life and people to vibrate the same way because it's really a lowered vibration in this world. You see, people were more authentic, they were genuine, they were more sincere. Yes, we had wars, we had murders, we had crime, we had all of those things. But it just seems as though people are more rotten these days, which leads to those things of war and crime and theft and, smearing somebody, backstabbing people. I don't like to focus on those things, but I can't help but see it. And my thing is, let me make myself better so I can see these spirits that come around me so I can avoid them. I'm not looking for them, but I want to see them when they come around me. Because if I didn't have that ability, I would have been more drained by what I encountered just in passing. Because the auras of people do affect you. If you're sitting on a bus, a train, and you're close to someone, their energy will affect you. The same way when you walk into a kitchen and get near a hot stove. You didn't touch the stove yet, but you can feel the heat coming off of it. Now, when people are around you, you may not be able to feel their energy like heat, but it's a different kind of feeling that if you don't know how to understand what this person is all about that way, it'll drain you and you won't know how you got so drained. There's so many variables that we have to deal with in our day. Are we positive enough? Did we get the physical rest? Are we spiritually in tune? Are we mentally sharp? Are we emotionally in control of ourselves? You see, cars have dashboards. Human beings don't have dashboards to know where they stand in these different departments, different categories. So that when we go outside into the world, if we don't know, then we could be a sitting duck. Like tomorrow, not because it's Sunday. I still have guys here doing some work, right? I look forward to that, but I'm not leaving the house tomorrow. I'm going to do a few projects and I'll do my show with Brother Malik, and I might do another one earlier before he comes on. Matter of fact, I know I will, but I'm recharging tomorrow. I'm going to spend downtime. I'm going to get my 8 hours of sleep plus. And if I want to lay in the bed for another hour and a half, I'm 63 years old. I can do that. It's one of the benefits of being old. And I still might take a nap. But the main thing is to take care of yourself, but master yourself before you try to master the world. You see how many people are out here trying to rule over other people, watch other people, compete with other people, feeling that. And when we say master the world, I don't mean the whole planet, but their circle. You don't have to worry about that. Like, see, there's certain things I'm not worrying about. First of all, I don't worry. That's part of mastering yourself, is not to worry. I show a limited amount of concern. The other night, I knocked over a glass and it fell to the ground and broke. It wasn't in an area where anybody was going to walk within the next 24 hours. I was tired. This wasn't last night. It was like 3-4 nights ago. I was tired. And guess what? That glass that was broken stayed right there because my sleep was more important. And after I produced this particular episode, that's where I'm going. I do take care of myself to the point of pampering myself. And I'm not going to ever stop that. I'm mastering myself. I know where my blip is on the radar screen. I know how I stand physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. There's a few of those categories that need to be topped off, starting out with sleep. Oh, here's the most, no, not the most, this is one of the most points I want to make. Stop telling everybody your business, or as they say in the hood, your business. You don't have to explain every move you're making or announce every dream you're working toward. Some people genuinely support you, but others are quietly hoping you fail. Oh, ain't that the truth? Learn to protect your peace by sharing your plans only with people who have earned your trust. Sometimes silence is stronger than 1,000 words. As much as I love to talk, first of all, there are certain individuals who are so negative and hateful toward me. And I know they are. And I'm not going to let them know. But I'm not giving them any information about me. I'll deflect. I'll talk about something else. But that's not going to happen. See, you don't always have to tell somebody off, right? They can be near you and you can slip through the cracks and not be around them as much and not tell them anything. Because guess what? They will meet you where you're trying to go. And I don't mean a physical destination, but they will do everything in their power. And see, when people know what your plans are that are negative toward you and don't want to see you succeed, that aura, that energy, that's something that you carry on your back because they're rooting against you. You can't tell me it's any different. When folks say prayer is powerful, and the more people we get to pray is the more powerful that prayer is. It's the same thing. The more negative people who know your plans, it's like a prayer. Like when people pray. But the negative people in their mind, they don't realize they're praying. See, because you in their mind are P-R-E-Y, pray. Something to be hunted, something to be discouraged, someone to be knocked off from the plans that will bring you joy and manifest the destiny that was put inside of you. That's the main thing. That's the main thing. Don't stop me. You ever drive on the highway? And you can tell a jerk when they merge onto the highway ahead of you, they fly down fast, jump in front of you, and all of a sudden they go slow. And then they look at you in the rearview mirror. They're looking right at you, trying to elicit an emotion, trying to get you pissed off. There are people out here like this. You must have encountered that. Or they're just driving in front of you slow, real slow, and they're looking at you, trying to piss you off. You master yourself, and you'll be all right. But when I say stop telling everybody your business, it's the same thing on the highway. You are going somewhere. They don't know where you're going, but they know they want to slow you down. That's when you have to go around them. That's all. Learn to read people before you trust them. Most people listen just long enough to respond. Very few people truly listen to understand. Pay attention to people's actions more than their words. I can't say it enough. Watch how they treat others when they think nobody is paying attention. Yeah, it might be somebody in the street who is asking for money for food. Watch how they treat them. They may not have the money to give them, but watch how they treat them. They don't treat them like they're very important most of the time. And that tells you a little bit about their character. But if they run into somebody who has power and influence or riches, oh, Mr. Smith, how are you doing? Oh, I was thinking about you. You see, they'll kiss their ass. That's just the way it is. Human nature usually reveals itself over time. And if you're patient enough to observe, people will often tell you exactly who they are without realizing it. And when they tell you who they are, why do you doubt it? They're letting you know through their actions. Once I know, you don't have to worry about me coming around you. Once I know, I'm ghost. You might see me, but you won't see me. No. And my aura, my energy, is going to be curtailed and kept away from any entity like that. This is how I can get so much done. And I'm not bragging. It's just efficiency. I don't need an entourage around me. I don't need a group of people around me and the gossip that goes along with it. I am free, and I love it. But don't let your emotions make your decisions. Many of life's biggest mistakes happen during emotional moments. Anger, jealousy, fear, loneliness, and pride have ruined more lives than lack of intelligence ever has. When emotions become intense, slow yourself down. Think about tomorrow before reacting today. A calm mind usually makes better decisions than an emotional one. Let me tell you something. You all know I used to work with the incarcerated in jail and in prison. And there are a lot of people there locked up because they didn't control themselves. They let their emotions make their decisions. They reacted. They were heated. They were angry. You know how many guys I talked to that shot and killed somebody because they were angry at the moment, and now, late at night, you hear them in the jail cell or in the prison cell crying, regret. And of course, they have to act tough during the day. But who wants to be locked up over a dumb mistake? Or who wants to lose a good relationship just because you were too heated and angry on a misunderstanding that you went and you said some things out of your mouth that you can't take back? You see what I mean? Control yourself. You know, I had a funny way of dealing with times when I felt my emotions were going to get out of control. I just imagined myself to be Mr. Spock off of Star Trek. Mr. Spock was half Vulcan and half human, but he wasn't emotional like most humans. He was slow to anger. I know one episode, Captain Kirk pissed him off, and I know Mr. Spock had some black in him because Captain Kirk talked about his mama. He got pissed and he was trying to kick his behind. But yeah, everybody has their breaking point, you see? And they're premeditated things. People do crimes and get locked up, but a lot of it, women locked up, crimes of passion. They find out that their spouse or their boyfriend is cheating on them. And they lay wait and they stab him when he's sleeping. I've seen some gory things. The emotions. And there's sometimes when you can't really help it, right? There was a kid, he was like about 14 years old. Skinny white kid, real skinny. And he always slept because they always had him on this heavy medication. And one day, seems like he was only up for an hour. So I went to his cell. I was checking everybody's cell, but I kind of lingered when he woke up, and he told me a story that his grandfather was violating him in the worst way in every orifice of his body. Use your imagination if you don't know what that means. And this was going on for like 2 years, from like 12 years old, 11 and a half to 12, 13, something like that, because he was locked up for a couple of months already. And this guy was so frail, but his emotions overwhelmed him. Now, I can understand that. You're not emotionally mature when you're 13 years old all the way, right? So he, after a molestation situation that happened, the grandfather fell asleep on the couch, on his back. He's watching TV, and the remote control dropped out of his hand. The TV was on. Because he stayed with his grandparents. His grandmother was up top, and the floor above in the bedroom sleeping. So he went and took his grandfather's rifle, put it in his mouth, pressed it hard, and the grandfather started to wake up, and he was in pain because this thing is shoved down his throat. Well, he was shoving something down his grandson's throat. And when he realized what was going on, because he told me, his eyes were open wide, he was trying to push back on the rifle, he squeezed the trigger, and the grandson saw his grandfather's brains all over the place. And he put the rifle down. The grandmother came downstairs hysterical. He didn't run. He just started crying because it was a release. It was very emotional. That's not the right way to go, but that was happening. And what made it where it was a desperate situation and his emotions got the best of him is because he told me that his grandmother knew what was going on. She told her, and she did nothing about it. And what's the guy gonna do? Don't be that person. In whatever situation you are in life where you can lose your emotions, emotional control, that makes a decision for you, it's not gonna be good. Your reputation is built quietly. That's the best way to do it. That's a good point that I try to adhere by. There's a lot of things I'm doing now quietly. Let it build up. See, real influence isn't something you demand. People do that now. They want to get on social media and demand attention and influence. It's something you earn. When you're dependable, honest, disciplined, and consistently solve problems, people begin trusting you without you asking for it. You don't have to convince people you're valuable. If you continue bringing value wherever you go, they'll eventually recognize it on their own. That's what you have to do. Bring value to somebody's life. And this is a question that we should ask ourselves when we let someone into our life. Do they bring value in my life? It's not being selfish. It's not rating them and judging. No. Because you let some people in your life and they will wreck your life up. Their energy will throw you off. Look, when I do a live show and I schedule it, there are certain people who wait good and darn ready 3 minutes before it starts and try to start ringing my phone, sending me messages, sending me videos, like intense. And I know they're looking at me on the screen. And when my show's over, they'll call again. Oh, you were watching. So what's that? To throw me off? I'm hip to the game. I cut my phone off. I got to do what I got to do. It's your reputation. You have to protect it. And again, you don't have to go out there and demand it. You don't have to go out there and jockey for attention. Just know your reputation will grow. I remember there was a guy who sold shoes, and it was in Orlando, Florida. And it was on a really uncommon street. It was on Hiawassee Road above Silver Star Road, maybe 4 or 5 long blocks. And he set up a little wooden stand. And he had these homemade shoes. Well, he made them, handmade rather. But he had a garage that they were homemade, but they were handmade. And they looked pretty good. And I saw one person stopping early in the morning, and they went to him and they were talking. He was talking to him. And I went to stand by him to see what this was all about. He didn't have his size, but he said he'll make some shoes for him. And he was highly in demand. Then he moved down to a more busier part. And this guy had cars around him taking orders because his reputation was built quietly and people began to trust him. You know, when you have a painter come over to your house to do work, or an electrician, right? Or a plumber, you don't know who it is. Somebody recommends that person to you, but you don't know their work or anything. Now they come to your home and do really great work. And guess what? You're like, wow, this person does good work. Now you recommend this person to other people that trust you and can see his work. But he didn't have to come and beg you or get loud. Say, listen, my work speaks for itself. That's why when my old channel was taken away, the next day, I just set something up and kept going. They can't take away my name. I have an established name. They can't do that. Reputation is built quietly, but over time, once you get it and the trust of the people and they know what you're all about, it's something that nobody can ever take away. It's yours forever. But it can't be built on buffoonery. It can't be built on smearing somebody else's name. It can't be built that way. You got to be honest, consistent, and over time. And save your energy, y'all. In this life, I'll say it this way. Not every battle is worth fighting. Stop fighting other people's battles that are not yours. One of the greatest signs of maturity is knowing when to walk away. Winning every argument isn't the same as winning in life. Understand that. Sometimes protecting your peace is worth more than proving your point. Save your energy for the battles that truly matter, because your time, your focus, and your emotional health are valuable resources. I never really got into the battling thing with people, but the times that I've walked away from stupid arguments, or even when I was done wrong, or maybe gypped out of something, or somebody just stole something in an indirect way, and it meant a lot to them. And then I said to myself, why am I battling this person? I happen to know some things about their life, and those things are making them suffer enough. When I really thought about it, I said, I don't have to battle this person to try to punish them for anything. Their very life and the pressure they feel every day, and the limitations that they feel every day, and the ever-growing responsibilities that they have. That it's more to that story, and several stories like that. It's like, listen, you're just trying to drag me into something because you're envious of the life that I live. It's sad. Don't let them do that, because they'll do that just because of that. Come up with all kind of arguments and battles, or provoke you. No, go ahead. Go ahead. Pay your bills if you can. Hide. You got people, I'm not even going to get into all of that, but when you happen to know what people are going through, you understand why they attack you when you have lots of peace of mind. It's the sweetest thing. It's the sweetest revenge that you don't have to do anything to anybody else for when you've attained that level and that status from within. They can feel it, and it reminds them of what they don't have. So you don't have to fight with these people, and understand they will try to come up with things to keep a battle going. No, leave them to themselves and let them suffer with their own subconscious and conscious mind and dynamics that limit them in this life. You see? In the social media generation, everybody wants attention. They all want attention. Like I said, when I was at the mall, and girls walking past me, they're staring at me to see if I'm going to look at them. Now, they had the tight things on and the backside and the boobies pushed up, and come on, I've seen that. I've seen countless, and it wasn't nothing to gawk over. I'm just walking by. I had something to do. I had something on my mind. And one of them said something when they passed me by. Oh, he wants to look. What? Like that's what I come there for? Please. I know I want to look, or she knows I want to look. Is that the best that you can hope for in your day, is that a strange man looked at your breasts or your backside? Is that an accomplishment? Is this what you do on Facebook and X and YouTube and all these different platforms? This is what you do? Instagram is worse. But like I said, focus on results, not applause. Too many people spend their lives trying to impress others instead of improving themselves. Stop worrying about looking successful and start becoming successful. Don't measure your life by compliments, likes, followers, or popularity. It's misleading. Measure it by your growth, your consistency, your character, and the positive impact you have on the people around you. Let me just tell you another little thing that we don't realize on social media. Do you know that you can have 5 million followers? I'm going to say a big number, right? Another person can start a TikTok page or a YouTube page, and they don't have any followers yet. That page is not any less, or that platform is not any less than the one that has 5 million. See, back in the day, the more subscribers you had, the more the algorithms would show what you just did, the new stuff, to your followers. They don't really do that anymore. It's based on subject. It's based on what you're talking about. This is why people, if you've noticed, they may not have many followers, but they get a lot of hits. So it's out of your hands. If this is what you're focusing on, it levels the playing field. It keeps me relaxed because I can talk about the things I want to talk about on a real life level, and I don't have to chase anything. Because it's coming. It's coming. It's like fishing. Do you like scream at the water if the fish didn't bite in 3 hours? No, it will come. Take time. Sometimes it's faster, sometimes it's later. But this social media generation has really messed our minds up. In our heads, we're living like in a different level, the world's around us, we could see it, but it's like a template overlay of an alternate reality that we see and other people don't see. It's just like those glasses that you can watch a movie and put these glasses on. So you're staring, eyes wide open. You don't even know what's around you. Somebody could be sitting next to you with a baseball bat ready to smash your brains in, and you're watching a movie and relaxed. Totally oblivious to reality. And that's what this social media has done. There's so many things in our head that's not even real. And it's just altering how we deal with each other, right? But this is why I love human nature. Human nature never ceases to amaze me. But understand the greatest power is discernment. At the end of the day, the purpose of understanding human psychology isn't to manipulate people, even though they're easily manipulated. It's to recognize manipulation before it reaches you. Discernment allows you to see beyond appearances, recognize unhealthy patterns, and make wiser choices. That's real power, not controlling other people, but refusing to let other people control you. The stronger your discernment becomes, the more peaceful, confident, and independent your life will be. And I'm telling you, I'm living that right now. My discernment, I cherish it. There are people that are not in my immediate social circles, but they'll come around every now and then. I already know what they're all about. I already know future conflicts that would happen if I didn't know, but I know how to avoid them because I know what's in their heart, right? The world has enough people trying to control other people's minds. What we need are more people learning how to control their own. That's where real freedom begins. That's where real wisdom begins. And that's where real power begins. So if you feel powerless, understand. You need to control yourself, work on yourself, control your mind, your emotions, and have a purpose. Social media has made it where we're like a person who got in a car and put the foot on the gas but on the brake at the same time. Putting stuff up, waiting to see the responses. Putting stuff up. What are you doing? What's your purpose? How are you affecting people? What value are you bringing to people? It's crazy. It's a public mental institution. And I don't mean that in all cases. There are really good stuff out there. There are people who are doing some really relevant, good work and helping people. And that's what I like to do. I'll entertain you a little bit, but I like to talk about life. And it reminds me of the conversations that I used to have and the conversations that I used to listen to when I was a young child. My parents had conversations with their friends and other family members that were just teaching experiences, and I knew a lot. From 7, 8 years old, I knew a lot about human nature. Trust and believe. A whole lot. And I would ask questions, they would include me in it, and they would tell me as much as I can understand. And I understood a lot. So this is nothing new to me. And I can read people more, silently. Not to demonize anybody. I'm not looking for anything bad. But you got to make sure. You go to the grocery store and you buy something, you make sure to look on the package to make sure there are no ingredients in there that are harmful to you. So if you get around a person and they have a harmless coke habit, this harmless, I just sniff every now and then. Well, it may eventually go to crack and they're in your house and stealing things, or I don't know. You just have to be careful. Discernment is where it's at. You can't go wrong with discernment. And the greatest power is discernment. You see? I'm going to wrap it up right here because, like I told you, I am fatigued. I dealt with a lot of spirits today. I had a successful day, a high energy day, even though I was physically fatigued. But I'm going to rest my body and I'm going to get up like gangbusters and I'm going to get so much done. Because my enthusiasm never wanes. It's always there. I know how to cultivate it. I just want to say thank you for the comments. Thank you for the support. And thank you for helping me in my evolution on this social media platform. This is the way I love it. And my participation with you here means a lot to me. So, as I always say, on to the next one. LanceScurv out. Much love to you all. Peace.